Welcome to the Raw Reality Pregnancy Series. Over the next few episodes, we're diving into the real, raw, and beautiful reality of pregnancy. The highs, the hard parts, the challenges, the questions, and everything no one really prepares you for. With expert guests, honest conversations, and women sharing their own journeys, this series is here to help you feel informed, empowered, and a little less alone through every stage of pregnancy and motherhood. Hello guys, and welcome to the pregnancy series. I am so excited to kick off this series with half a solo ep and half with Jackson, because I really wanted to bring him on and just chat with him and talk about his, experience in it all. And then I also asked you guys some questions as well on our Instagram. So we'll get into that. But let me just first preface by sorry if I hiccup, sorry if I stopped talking like that, because when I speak on my own for long periods of time, I run out of breath and my reflux is really bad, but we're getting through and we're nearly there. But I honestly don't have any notes. I just want to have a bit of a riff on my own for the next 20 minutes before I bring Jackson in. But let's just go back. Let's go back to the beginning. I feel like if you followed the pod or followed me, you know the story, but I'll quickly touch on it. So I guess for a large majority of my life has been the goal and the dream to fall pregnant, to have kids, to be a mom, to have a family. I come from a I hate using the word broken family, but it's kind of the only way to describe it. When I've had older brother and sister on my mum's side to a different dad, and then I have two younger brothers on my dad's side to a different mum, and then another little brother to another different mum. So my parents have been busy, and I guess so grateful for my siblings, love them, wish I was closer. We all live in different states. My little brothers are in Perth. My older brother is in North Queensland. He's 8 hours from me. And my sister is in country Victoria. So I'm very far from all of them, and I don't see them very often. It's once or twice a year, which I just hate. But it is a reality. So I do wish, we were closer in terms of distance and in age. There's quite a big age gap. There's 15 years on my mum's side, and then my younger brother, who's the oldest of the three, he's 18 and I'm 26, and then the youngest is 9. He'll be 10 this year. So there's 18 years between us, because he was 1 at my 18th, which is crazy. But literally love them with my whole heart. But I guess for me, I was I always wanted to have 3, now maybe 4 kids. Jackson and I have been dabbling in maybe having 4 kids. But yeah, just having that close-knit family, hopefully having 3 or 4 kids, having them close in age, and just having everything I feel I wanted. Not that I would change anything, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, that's always been the goal. And then when growing up, I was diagnosed with PCOS. I've forever, since I got my period at 16, had irregular periods. Then I dealt with acne, the weight gain. You guys know the drill. And so for a long time, I was told and led to believe that I wouldn't have kids, or it would take me a really long time. So I guess it was always that little bit of a fear in the back of my mind in terms of not being able to have kids. But in the same breath, something in me knew that I was going to be a mum and I would have my own kids. So I just kind of had to hold on to that hope for when the time was right. And, last year I moved away to Melbourne. So Jackson and I went through long distance again, and he actually was going to propose last year, guys. Oh, I hate that for me. But I followed my dream, and I wouldn't change it. It didn't mean, yes, it prolonged me getting a ring, but I had Jackson's support through the whole thing. It only made us stronger, and I got to fulfill something that I wanted to do always before having kids. So, yeah, that was crazy that when he told me that. But it all happens for a reason, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So then coming home from Melbourne last year, we've talked about it. We've talked about how I fell pregnant, but honestly, we weren't trying, and we had probably another 2 years in the bank of focusing on career, business, building before we were going to start trying for kids. And I'd spoken to him so many times about trying earlier than we necessarily want to start, because I don't know how long it's going to take. So there's one night, Jackson and I have always used protection in the sense of pull-out method. And it's always worked. It's always been fine. And I just kind of assumed with like the irregular periods, with the PCOS, yes, I've come a long way and my periods have been a lot more, I'm not going to say regular because definitely not regular, but a lot more consistency. Like last year I had the most periods in 1 year since I was like 18, which is crazy. So I've definitely come a long way with my health. And I guess it was just like this one night that we decided not to. And I was like, we'll be fine. Like, I'm pretty sure I don't even ovulate. I just assumed that not getting periods would mean I don't ovulate. It turns out I do. It turns out that I do ovulate, even though I wasn't getting periods or hadn't had a regular one. So we fell pregnant in end of September 2025. My last period was July 2025. And I'm pretty sure I was overseas competing when I got my period. So it was many months in between getting my period and then falling pregnant. So it was a very, very, very big shock. And I'll get into that a little bit when Jackson is here on like, you know, how we felt and all the things. But I guess for me, it was always coming back to like, trust your timing. Everything happens for a reason. This baby boy obviously wanted to join us. And I mean, like, it was a massive shock because we weren't trying and it was just like the last thing anyone in my life, whether you know me or not, whether you're friends, whether you're family, whether you're my mom, whether you're, you know, a community member on the internet, you were shocked. Every single soul, I think there was not an ounce of someone expecting this, to be honest. And so it was a lot to process, but in the same breath, I was like, this is my dream. And I always said I wanted to go back and compete in acro one more time before I had kids. And it turned out that I literally did that to a T. I went back and competed, finished at the World Cup, got a silver medal, like was just so happy and content, and then finished up and fell pregnant literally like the week before I competed at nationals. So I was pregnant when I competed at nationals, but I didn't know it yet. I would have been like 1 or 2 weeks pregnant. So the story and the timeline is just, you can't make it up. And this is where I feel like I accidentally manifest, or I just, sometimes you got to surrender and just trust your plan and things will happen for you as they're meant to. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it doesn't make sense for a while. But pregnancy has not been easy. It has been the biggest challenge I've probably ever experienced. And I've experienced a lot of challenges from, you know, my health, my injuries, relationship breakdowns, friendship breakups, like moving states, parents' divorce. Like, I've experienced a lot of hardship in life, and this has challenged me more than I ever could have imagined. And in just like every way, like physically, mentally, emotionally. So I found out I was pregnant at like 2 or 3 weeks. I think it was 3 weeks. Was flying out to America 2 days later. Went to America, was okay, a bit unwell, but I was also like really sick with a cough, and jet lag was really, really horrible at that time as well on that trip. And then the last day in America, I'm pretty sure I ticked over 5 or 6 weeks pregnant, and everything went downhill. I have never been so sick in my life. I was so sick the whole trip home from America to Australia, and basically got picked up from the airport, went straight home to my couch, and I did not leave my couch for, I'm going to say, like 12 weeks. I was vomiting multiple times a day. I lost 6 kilos in the beginning of my pregnancy, which like obviously is scary when you're obviously meant to do the opposite and grow a human and support them. I couldn't keep fluids down. I couldn't keep food down. And so for a long time, like if you followed me, you know, I really try and do everything natural for my body and support it as naturally as possible. But it just got to the point where I ended up in hospital and like nothing else worked other than on Danzatron, which is a anti-nausea medication. And I've been on that probably since week 8 or 9. I think like I came home from America at 6 weeks pregnant, and then it was a good 3 weeks of me just crook as a dog, wanting to avoid on Danzatron or avoid any type of medication basically. But it just got to a point where you're like, hey, I'm so sick and I'm meant to be growing and supporting a human. I can't keep fluids down. I can't keep food down. That's not good for myself, let alone my baby. So spoke to like my naturopath and my midwife and got some ondansetron, and I've been on it ever since. And I really thought second and third trimester I would come off it and the nausea would go away or the vomiting would go away, and it just hasn't. Like if this morning I had to run and take it, otherwise I was about to throw up. So, and I'm, as of recording this, 36 weeks pregnant, nearly 37. So, yeah, it's just something that I've had to accept in order to continue working and keep foods down, basically. And so it's been rough because I guess I went from 1,000% last year. Like I was on 60 flights last year between multiple different countries, states, like traveling, averaging like 3 flights a week, which is insane. And competing, working, doing long distance, doing the podcast, like literally I maxed out last year. And then to go to like absolute nothing when I fell pregnant was so extremely hard. But in the same breath, I had to surrender because I physically couldn't do anything else. I couldn't train. I couldn't go on walks. I just had to listen to my body. And when you're that sick, like there's nothing else you can do. So I did really learn to surrender quite early on. And it wasn't until, you know, the weeks kept going by and I was still really sick and lethargic and just like navigating this whole new season. And I always thought, yeah, I would glow in pregnancy and I would go to the gym and been healthy my whole life. Like I'll look after myself. And like sometimes you just can't. Sometimes when you know you should be eating your greens and all you want to eat is nuggets, you have to surrender. And I struggled a lot with that because I wanted to, you know, if I had a craving, cool, so satisfy that craving, move on, but still enjoy veggies where I can. But like I couldn't eat any meat. I still can't eat red meat. I couldn't hack vegetables at all. Like it was bare minimum. It was what do you call it? Like a white diet or a beige diet. That's what it is. It's bread, it's potatoes. It's bread, it's potatoes, basically. It was like all I was eating. And you just have to listen to your body. And it's so hard because everyone's like, you know, what you eat in pregnancy determines your baby and like their health, and that you just hear so many different things. And then I would see a video where it's like, it literally doesn't matter what you eat in pregnancy. It doesn't affect your baby, yada, yada, yada. Like, I don't know. I literally don't know, but you can't control it. Like you just have to eat what you want and what you're craving and what your body's telling you. And like at that point, any food is food to get down into my system. But yeah, it just was like day after day, just like trying to navigate that. And also in the first trimester was so hard because I wasn't posting about it online. I hadn't shared about it yet. So I tell you guys everything. So that was really hard to like keep a secret when I'm such an open book and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. And initially I had thoughts on sharing it sooner. But then we just had like 2 minor scares at the beginning. So I was glad that I waited. And then I think I ended up announcing it like 14 or 15 weeks because we had to get like a few extra scans and things. So yeah, that was really difficult. And then I guess just like navigating this season of the unknown, season that you've never experienced before, both me and Jackson, and, you know, us navigating, like, and obviously not a lot changes for him, but then he's of course there supporting me and helping me through this time. Like, oh, the amount of times I've cried and just been like, oh, I can't do this. Like, oh my gosh, if I could count on my fingers how many times I've cried to him or get $1, I would be super rich, because it just got to me mentally so many times. And I think for so long, not that I was scared to admit it, but I just wasn't acknowledging it. Like I wasn't acknowledging that I wasn't okay, and mentally was just really, really struggling because, yeah, I went from 100 to 0 and wasn't living my normal life, even though this has been my lifelong dream to be pregnant and to be a mom and have a baby. It just still felt so difficult because I didn't know what to do or how to get through this when I was so sick, if that makes sense. So it was truly just like navigating the whole thing. So I'm now, as of recording, as I said, 36, nearly 37 weeks, and we are coming close to the end. And I've done more in my 3rd trimester than I have the whole pregnancy, because we opened the warehouse, we started the podcast studio, we started a new business. And I definitely am feeling like a massive shift. And I've spoken about this recently on the pod, how yes, motherhood is going to bring a big identity shift, but even in my career, I think you just start to like look at things differently and really get clear on what you want to do. And I feel like I'm in that shift right now of, okay, what makes me happy? What do I really want to continue doing in terms of my career? And how do I want to uphold that? And I really want to create space in my maternity leave, in postpartum, to see what comes up and see what I actually really enjoy. I've been doing a lot more work for like Jackson and his company, like editing reels. And now that we have like the podcast studio, I'm helping out with our founding members, our clients, and helping them create their cool podcast sets and helping them scale their podcast, and having a lot of fun with that. And then of course I have my personal brand and my social media side of things, and my YouTube, which YouTube is just like never going anywhere. YouTube and podcasts are like the two things that I love the most and want to keep up. But unfortunately, they're the two things that don't bring in money yet. Work in progress and the things that you have to build. But the community that's come with the podcast outweighs anything that we could earn. And so I'm just like forever grateful for that. But they're the two things that are like, they're not going anywhere. But in terms of like career, job, like I just want to dabble and like try new things and see where it takes me, and just like create space for that. So that's something I'm like navigating now, but also excited to like experiment with once Bub's here and just like see what happens. And then I forgot where I was going with that. I just kept going on a tangent. But yeah, I think it's just like a season of, especially if you're first time pregnant, like you just have to surrender and go with the flow. Like this pregnancy has taught me so much peace and calmness, which I want to bring in. As much as it's like been hard because I've been sick, it's taught me to slow down and really just like listen to my body. Guys, I have not gone to the gym. I literally could count on one hand how many times I've been to the gym in the last 8 months of my pregnancy. Yeah, that's how little we've been to the gym. We did Pilates for a good time there, and then I think maybe 30 weeks, I just couldn't. Like everything was so uncomfortable. And I've just gone up and down in terms of like how I'm feeling with my sickness. So my midwife basically said that I have like mild HG, which is hyperemesis. I can never say the G word, but if you look up HG pregnancy, it'll tell you. And everyone has it differently. I only knew of it because my coach back home, who I lived with last year, had HG in all 4 of her pregnancies, and I've never seen someone so sick. And so when I got really sick, I was like, okay, well, I know what this is and I will get through it, because she did 4 times. And so, yeah, I guess I had to just surrender and figure it out. I feel like that's been my word for pregnancy is surrender. But we are so close now to the finish line. Like basically he could come at any point from like a couple of days, because 37 weeks is full term. So he could come at any point, which is crazy. And I'm just so excited. 2 of my best friends, Taylor and Riley, have just had their bubs. Riley's bub would now be like 6-7 weeks old. Taylor's is like 1 to 2 weeks old. And just watching them, go through it all just makes me even more excited, and like just getting me through to the finish line basically, because it has been rough. But nonetheless, like I'm so grateful, and I'm honestly even more grateful that I've been able to be open about how hard this journey and chapter has been and how hard this pregnancy has been, because I know there's people out there trying to conceive, infertility issues, there's IVF, like there's so many different things we can go through with pregnancy, so many, challenges that we put our body through to have these beautiful little babies. And I thought mine would be so challenging, and it has been in other ways. But my community, you guys have been so supportive in me sharing how hard it's been, even though I am so freaking grateful to have a baby and start a family. Like every day I picture myself just holding him and just going like, this is my child. Like I just remember being like 5, 6, 7, 12 years old, being like, I want to be a mom and I want to have kids. And like, I'm a matter of a couple of weeks away, could be days away at this point. So yeah, it's really, really exciting. And I'm just honestly grateful that I've been able to be open about it, because I think it is really important to share this side of pregnancy when I feel like because pregnancy can be so hard, or trying to conceive can be so hard, people feel like they can't share that their pregnancy is hard, even though they're so grateful. So I just wanted to kind of break that stigma, and, you know, everyone's challenges and everyone's problems are all, what's the word? Relative, because we're all going through something, and doesn't mean we need to push our feelings or our emotions to the side because of other things. I just think, yeah, I'm just so grateful that I've been able to be open and share this journey. But if there's anything that I could say to pregnant mums like going through a hard time, it's to really surrender, listen to your body, and lean on those around you. Like, I probably didn't enough, but they were there. Like, I knew they were there if I needed them. My mum and Jackson have been like the biggest support throughout this pregnancy, and just leaning on them, having my mum live with us, and Jackson just being there at my right-hand man, just whenever I needed it, to cry, to escape, to get me through. Like, he has been there, and same as my mum, helping with just like absolutely everything. But lean on those around you, speak to people, open up about it, whether that is online for you or whether that is with just like close friends or family, and just, yeah, surrender. Like, if you want to have nuggets every day, you have nuggets every day. You truly just have to listen to your body, rest, and don't feel guilty. One major thing that I really wanted to like touch on is like training in pregnancy. As I said, I thought I would train through pregnancy and like slay and be able to keep up my gym and keep my back muscles and keep building my biceps and shoulders and what have you. But like I said, I could count on one hand how many times I've been to the gym in 8 months, because it just hasn't been, it's not been my priority. I've been too sick to even like some days walk. So I really felt guilt around that, because I was like, well, then I'm not going to have like the best birth. And, you know, training in pregnancy means you can have a better birth and you're stronger and yada, yada, yada. But I've trained my whole life. Last year I trained, 25, 30 hours a week, and my body needed the rest. I said 2026 was for rest. Didn't mean this kind of rest, but I'll take it. And, I think there's so much online around training in pregnancy and pushing yourself that sometimes you feel the guilt of like, you have to train, otherwise you've kind of failed. That's how I felt in a sense, but it's been the biggest blessing, because for birth and to prep for birth, you do need to learn to release and relax and really stay in tune with your body. Like, there are so many studies on like how good training is for you during pregnancy, and I can fully see that. But in the same breath, I can also see how good it is to relax and let your body calm, and especially going into labor, like be in tune with your body, relax, open up your pelvic floor, and like actually prepare yourself for labor, because the tighter and the stiffer you are, the harder it is going to be. So that's just one thing that I kind of opened my eyes to when I spoke to my hypnobirthing coach, who you'll hear from in this series, and she's just freaking incredible. So yeah, it's been a really nice learning curve in that sense, where like, if you don't feel like you can train, don't force yourself to. Listen to your body. If you need to relax, you need to calm down, that is okay, and it's probably what your body needs. And let me tell you, it's exactly what my body needed. So there's been so many lessons, but I want to get Jackson in and ask him a few questions and just kind of pick his brain on the last 8 months and what it's looked like for him, as well as, being the dad, being my biggest support through this, and then like also how he's felt and navigated this season. Welcome, Jackson.
Thank you, Tori Story.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. My first episode in my own studio, our own studio.
Our studio, crazy.
I've been invited.
You have been invited. The first one you did was in like our spare bedroom, like 4 houses ago.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't do it in the last house.
No.
Yeah, that was ages ago.
It was.
That was the highest viewed episode, I think, too.
Yeah, best episode, yeah. Maybe not. Well, I don't know what I spoke about for the first 20 minutes, but I'm excited to have you on.
Perfect. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so glad.
Answer all the hard-hitting questions.
The first one's quite funny. I just know what you're going to say. But before I ask the community's questions, there's some for you, some for me, some for both of us.
I have no idea on what these questions are as well.
Yeah, I've just like skimmed through them. I only just looked at them before, and I haven't really briefed you on anything. But the first question I want to ask you is, how did you feel when actually you saw, because you looked at the test first, the 2 lines? Other than confused because you didn't know what was what.
My stomach sank to the floor.
Yeah.
There was a lot of emotions. I was like, oh shit, we got to do this now. Because I knew that there wasn't going to be an option, or I didn't want to take an option, or you didn't want to take an option of abortion or anything like that. So it's never really in the picture. It was like, okay, now we've got this to deal with. Because our plan was always to wait a few more years yet.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get the business sorted, set up, have a bit more probably cash in the bank to feel supported and somewhat comfortable.
Which you've said like from literally the first day that I met you.
Yeah.
And I always tried to say like there will never be a perfect time or perfect amount of money. But in saying that, JT Visuals had only probably just taken off.
Yeah.
At this time or just before falling pregnant.
Yeah. Well, I've always said I wanted to be present, and I don't want business to be a distraction and a big thing. I always work and always do something, but I wanted to be in a bit more of a set-up foundation first. And I knew the period that we're in business-wise is only sort of the start, and this was always gonna have an impact. So I wasn't the most excited, as people have mentioned and pointed out, because I knew obviously everything had changed since looking at the test. So I was, stomach sank to the floor, had a very sick feeling, and was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Obviously, you have to sort it out, and I think as time has then gone on, you sort of come around more to the idea of being a dad. I still feel 21 years old, which is like
same.
So it's weird.
I feel like I'm having a teen pregnancy.
Yeah, it's weird to be saying that you're going to be a dad at 26 and thinking that you'd probably be around later 20s before you start having one. So it was a weird feeling of mixed emotions.
How long do you feel like it took to like sink in?
What do you mean by sink in?
Like, we're having a kid.
I don't know. Probably not until maybe like your body started to change. At the start, it's like nothing really changes because you still look the same. It's still, you obviously get sick and whatnot. I think probably once you get through like the first maybe 20-ish weeks or the danger zone, just because I feel like the first 20 weeks or 12 weeks, whatever it is, it's like it's not guaranteed. And there's
it's
lot
like
of
that scary period.
Yeah.
And we
my
had
cousin,
a few like minor hiccups or like scares.
Yeah. Well, my cousin had a miscarriage that we didn't really know about until probably just after we found out, or before maybe. So it's like, and it can be common, and you've had a lot of issues. So I was like, until that kind of, you get through that phase, then I'm like, it might happen, it might not. And then after that, it's like, okay, this is going to happen now. And you see the scan and you hear his heartbeat and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when it gets real.
I still feel like for so long I was like, I've said this so many times because it was so easy for me to fall pregnant that I was like, something somewhere has to be hard, which the pregnancy itself has been fucking hard. But I think I've always been like waiting for something to happen. And even now I'm like, oh, he could come at any day, pretty much.
Could come this week.
He could come this week.
Day of recording, it's the 1st of June. He could come this week.
He could come this week. So, yeah, I feel like it took a while to sink in. And then you start buying stuff and, my bump is growing and then you can feel him a lot more, which is fun. There was something else I wanted to ask you. I mean, we did decide to also start a new business during pregnancy.
We did, yes.
Which
only
put
just
on a
recently.
lot of stress.
Yeah.
Financially, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah, everything, to be honest. It's like, it's weird because it's probably the most unsettled I feel like I've ever been in terms of where business is at.
Same.
There's been a lot of change and things not go the way I thought. So it's that kind of puts some extra pressure and stress on it. But I'm like, obviously, for whatever reason, like a lot of the stuff was just out of my control and it all just happened within a space of 4 weeks. And I'm like, okay, it's obviously some greater reason for this. I don't know what yet. So I just got to ride the wave, accept it, and just keep trying to take daily action and see what happens.
Yeah.
But it's probably a scary period and not one looking back that I thought would be in.
The warehouse took so much longer than we thought, cost a lot more than we thought, but it's done now, and now it's just like setting it up so we can be present when he's born.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, there'll still be a lot of work involved.
Yeah.
Because it still feels like we almost have to rebuild in a way. But that's the fun of it, and we'll see what the other side entails.
We will. What are you most excited for when he's born?
Once he's a little bit older, for me, I guess. Like there's not much I can do at the start. So once he's a little bit older, take him down to the golf course and actually do stuff with him.
Guys, Jackson's already bought his golf attachment for the pram.
Yeah, he can come sit in the pram. I've got my golf attachment ready to go, so Toy Story can have a break.
I can't wait.
And I can go play golf with him.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's much you can do at the start. So obviously excited to hold him and things like that.
See what he looks like.
And I don't reckon I've actually really been excited until probably the last, I don't know, maybe 5 to 6 weeks, and the closer you get.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, okay, it's going to happen eventually, but I just need to knuckle down for the next however long to get all this sorted and in the business in the right spot, and also train up new people to make sure we're ready to go and can handle what's to come. So it's kind of like haven't really thought about it too much, but then obviously when you do think about it and you get closer, that's when I start to get more excited.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago when we were like, he could come in 2 weeks. And then I was like, holy shit, that's really soon.
Yep.
And now it's like, well, he could come this week.
He could.
So we're at that point, which is like kind of scary. And I was talking to Taylor about it yesterday because she went basically at 42 weeks, but from 37, she thought she was going to go. So I'm like, I could still be 5 weeks away, which I just don't want to think about. But
you could be.
No, you won't do that to me. Okay, I'm going to ask some questions. First one, have you and Jackson been sexually active since falling pregnant?
No. No.
Yeah, nah. Well, firstly, I got so sick. So initially, like, it wasn't going to happen. And then, I mean, I stayed pretty sick. But, like, you're just so big and uncomfortable, and my libido's probably been non-existent, to be honest. But it can bring on labour, so it's time to start bringing it back in.
It's time to start. I am excited for that. That's one thing I am excited for.
Yeah, poor guy. It's been a while.
So, Sesame, you can hold out a little bit longer if you want, and
you can
Dad gets some more action.
All right, what are you least excited about?
About pregnancy or having a child?
When he's here.
When he's here, least excited for the screaming and crying of babies in general.
Yeah.
That just does my head in.
Well, so you better get ready.
Because I like to, when I'm at home and working, I just need silence. Or even when I'm here, I don't want people to talk to me. I just need silence to do my thing.
I think it will be different though because it's your child.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, that's probably and the poo probably. Ooh. Probably the poo.
Guys, Jackson's been so...
I clean up Ziggy's poo and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you do.
It's disgusting.
You've been pretty oblivious to the fact that you'll be changing nappies.
He can wipe his own bum.
People will love that. This I think more for me, or maybe even you as well, but how did you navigate not stressing about having a miscarriage in the first few weeks? I feel like, how do you feel like I went?
Not amazing.
No.
It was like, it's hard because it's stressful, but at the same time, I'm just like, I've been going more into God and religion and things like that. And I was like, well, he's obviously here for a reason. So if he leaves for a reason, then it's it's not our decision.
Yeah.
And it's just, it is what it is, and you obviously go through that. But I think I'm less, even with like the business now, it's like the same thing. It's like in the most vulnerable position it's ever been in. I'm like, it's happening because I need to either learn a lesson or something. So
yeah.
And I can't do literally anything. And I think the worst thing that Tori could do was stress about it, which I know she would have. So I was like, if I can just stay as calm as possible, it's only going to help. That's literally the only thing I could do.
Yeah. Because there's like so much stress around it. And like I said, I've had so many health issues that I was like, how does this stick? Basically. And even now, like setting up the nursery, like I've had so many moments where I'm like, what if something happens and I have to come home to like an empty nursery? But then I just try and like stop myself and be like, he's firing in there. So he's ready, he's fine, he's healthy, and like reassuring myself. But it doesn't, well, for me anyway, it didn't just stop at like the 12-week mark. It's gone on like the whole pregnancy. But I think like meditation, journaling, and trusting for me personally. Am I nervous for labor? Like, yeah, kind of. I've like envisioned it. I feel like I can see it. Now I just need to experience it. I feel like you'll help me stay calm. And I think you'll also help me, because I journaled the other day on my labor and I said I want it to be fun. And I feel like you'll help me keep it fun.
Can definitely do that. We'll have the camera out.
Or I'll,
you guys will see it all.
Or I'll punch you or something. But yeah, I'm definitely nervous, I think, but I'm also excited. And I've said this from day one, like for the challenge of my body and like to see just us experience that. And even like after Taylor and Riley going through it, it's like them having their partner watch them in like the most vulnerable state, but then also have them support them through it. And then you're literally pushing yourself to major limits.
You are.
How are you feeling about birth?
That's really I don't know.
I am. Just take it as it comes.
Yeah. I don't know. There's nothing you can really do about it. It's like I can't do anything. I just got to be there and try and support you. So it's like I'll take it as it comes. When it happens, it happens. I'll put the shoots on hold or call up Ellie and say, hey, can you go here? I need to go home.
Deliver a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I can really do.
I can't wait to dive into that when we've had him. Has your relationship changed in any way since Tori became pregnant?
I don't think so. She's very hormonal. Gets agitated quite quickly.
Pregnancy hormones. It's your child, not me.
I don't think so. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I think if anything, like in a good way. Like we're just like really working as a team, communicating. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's really changed that much, to be honest. I think it's more, you probably have a greater respect for the other person, just watching them go through it. And you appreciate them a lot more, and obviously try and support you as much as I can whilst also trying to work 16-hour days.
Sometimes 32 hours.
Sometimes 32 in a row. But yeah, not really, just probably more checking in, I guess. More asking how you're feeling, calling, all those sorts of things.
Yeah, you have been very good at that. How would you describe your planned parenting styles? This is like probably what we spoke about the most on our baby moon. Like how we want to parent him.
How do you want to parent him?
Well, what did we say on our baby moon? We said, what did we say on the baby moon? I was really, really sick.
I can't remember.
We were like strict, but not like strict in a way that they have discipline, boundaries, and all the things, but also know that they can come to us for anything. We're both like super big on nutrition and like teaching them good foods, sometimes foods. What else do we speak about?
I think it's important to go through waves and seasons just like anything else. I think sometimes parents can get caught like this is the only way to do it, and then they stay that way, and then they don't evolve and adapt with the age and lifespan of your child. Like, you got to parent a kid differently from when they're 2 years old to when they're 18 years old. And I feel like sometimes, or even from like 12 years old to 18 years old is probably a better example. But I think sometimes parents can get caught doing the exact same thing and thinking that it has to be this way when it doesn't. And you can evolve with the times. Like, even for my parents, like, I still feel like they want to have control and do bits and pieces in my life. And it's like, guys, like, I'm 26 now. Like, I can make my own decisions. Which I've kind of said to them even since when I was 18, is like, I want to make my own decisions, and I want to stuff up as much as that's probably going to hurt you guys and all of that. Like, I got to learn for myself, which is probably one of my personality traits too. But I want to stuff up, and if I stuff up because of me, I can accept that. But if I don't try it and don't do it because it's what someone else said, but I really want to try it and do it, I'm going to probably hold resentment, which I don't probably think they quite understood.
And it probably, like, it comes from like that protection standpoint. Like,
yeah,
we were going to want to protect Sesame at all costs, but we also know our experience too of, like, my mum was always really good at letting me go and seeing what happens and guiding me along the way, but never being like, you have to do this, and just watching me kind of figure it out, which you then like learn so much from.
And in the same breath, I think mum and dad did a really good job in terms of like being respectful and those type of traits, particularly when like meeting other people and talking to other people and those bits and pieces. But I feel like probably later on could have relaxed a little bit more and just let us do our thing. But I think the foundations they set is something that I also want to emulate with Sesame in terms of like.
It's so hard not to say
I
his
know,
name.
I was going to say his name like 4 times already. Even just little things like eating his dinner, like he's going to finish everything that's on his plate before he touches another piece of food.
Yeah.
Whereas
or like
probably
dessert.
something that you didn't do.
Depends which parent I was with. If I was with mum, yes. If I was with dad, he was more lenient, but I saw him like twice a year.
Yeah.
So it was a bit more special with him.
Yeah.
Like, he let a lot of things slide.
But just, like veggies and those bits and pieces, like I want him to have the foundations.
We do that with Ziggy.
Yeah.
It's like he knows he does not get his treat unless he finishes his chicken.
Exactly.
And he
Last
knows
night,
it. Yeah.
he come up to us about 10 times, licking my face. I knew exactly what he wanted was his treat. But I said, no, you go finish your chicken and then you can have.
And he knows.
He does know. And he ended up finishing it and then he got his treat. So
it's the same with our baby boy.
it'll be the exact same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want him to be very respectful. I also want him to try a lot of different sports.
Yeah. I feel like that's the one thing we've said from like the beginning, like try it all, see what works. And like sport's been a huge part of our life. So naturally, I think he'll be a bit of a weapon.
Yeah.
If he takes after his mama.
Yeah. And I think, as I said before, we'll probably go in ebbs and flows of being good cop, bad cop, or disciplined and being a bit more relaxed, and there'll be different times and scenarios for different
things.
things.
Because you're being mean or vice versa.
Yeah, but he'll be doing push-ups at 3 months old, so just be ready.
Just be ready. He'll be running. And also like parenting each kid different too. Like each kid's going to be different. And I think my mum learned that with me. It was like, yes, there was a 15-year age gap, but she could not parent me the same way she parented my older siblings because I was a lot more challenging. And each kid's going to be different.
Exactly right.
How many kids do you want?
I mean, if money's not an issue, I'm happy to have kids whenever, have as many kids as you want. I think probably definitely 3, and then if money's not an issue, 4.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Yeah, we've definitely always said 3, like from the day we met.
And then however many you want to push out.
Yeah, how many depends on how the next 2 pregnancies go. Then we can go from there because this has not been fun unless you want to carry him or it. What else have we got here? Someone just asked, like, how have I felt with body image perspective? Has pregnancy healed you in a way? I don't think I struggled as much as I thought I would with body image. I think I just was like, inevitably, body's going to change. It is what it is. I also haven't been able to gym or train, so I just surrendered to the fact that my body would change. I'm excited to get back into the gym and just like move my body again. And there's been moments where, you know, I've noticed my cellulite or like my arms are a bit bigger or whatever the thing is, but you also realize like you're growing your child. And once he's here, you'll just be like, oh, it doesn't matter what your body looks like. And I know like postpartum may be where it becomes harder for me because in pregnancy it's like you're changing with a purpose, but postpartum's a bit harder because they're here and now your body's like completely different. So we'll tackle that when we get to it. But how do you think I've been?
You go through your waves.
Yeah.
You had your moments of a few breakdowns.
My belly's just so big. Like I'm at a point now where I'm like, I'm not wearing anything other than like what's comfy and tracksuit pants basically. But it's just so big.
It'd be pretty good, but you have your moments.
Yeah. Did you struggle to process it was real as it wasn't happening in your body? Which I feel like you kind of touched on, but
Yeah, I feel like I touched on it, but definitely it doesn't really feel real until you see change in the other person's body. It's because literally nothing changes on our end. I can still do everything that I need and want to, whereas for you it's a little bit different. So, yeah.
This is an interesting one. Do you think becoming a parent changes who you are or reveals who you already were?
Probably similar to money. I think it just reveals who you are or reveals a different side to you, whether you knew or didn't know what that side was. Can't really say because I'm not a parent
we can
yet.
come back
but,
to you on that.
I assume that would be the case. It's probably better to ask once we're postpartum, and probably you won't really know until you're 18 years into it.
Yeah.
Until they've gone through every phase possible and you've experienced every season. So it's a little bit hard to answer.
Have you been given any like advice from anyone
On how to parent?
On like becoming a dad?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
I mean, in our circle, 2 of our best friends have just had babies. So it's like they're like 5 days old and 5 weeks old. Yeah, actually I haven't either, to be honest. There's only a couple more. What experiences are you looking forward to?
Are you asking the same question?
Oh, I suppose you said golf. You're going to just say golf again? Anything
I can't,
else?
I'll get in trouble. What experiences?
Yeah. Like, I'm excited to like watch his first footy game or go on our first holiday.
Well, probably just their first everything, to be honest. Like, same with Ziggy when he's growing up and everything's new and he's like looking around and then
I just remember like when he first jumped up on the couch and we were like, oh my God, he just jumped on the couch.
Yeah, just those little things are going to be cool and fun to experience and document and do all those bits and pieces. But I feel like anything he does for the first time, which is probably going to be his whole life.
Yeah,
but
it's going to be so many things.
Yeah, all those moments.
I feel like I've kind of answered them all because otherwise we're going to hear
Would you have 3 questions?
No, there's a lot more, but there are a lot more for me. Someone said, what was the meaning behind Sesame's name? Why did Jackson boycott the others? We just didn't like any of the ones on my list.
Well, Sesame's not his name.
No, Sesame's not his name, but like with his actual name, did we have meaning behind it? No.
No. Like his one right now?
Yeah, like his actual name.
Oh, no.
Not Sesame. Sesame was like when he was born, like not born, when he was conceived, he was like a little sesame. And
it was a sesame seed.
His sesame seed. And then that just stuck. But his actual name was literally typed into ChatGPT, like, give us unique boy names. And we went through the list and that one stuck.
Yeah. Just what sounded like it sort of fit and liked and...
It's unisex name.
Yep.
And it's easy to pronounce. It's easy to spell. It's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no real meaning behind it. It's
Yeah.
kind of I don't know what your names were, but they were shit. I didn't like
I'll
any of
circle
them.
back for next child and try again, but we'll see.
No,
We only
we had a boy and a girl name.
Yeah, we had one boy and one girl and like literally nothing else. I still love our girl name, so no one will be hearing that until she comes along. Someone said, unsure of what my future will look like, being told I'm infertile since my endo diagnosis 2021. Still no period in sight and doing all the things holistically. What's something you think would help me navigate through this, being told I can't have kids? Well, I mean, I was told it from since I was 18, pretty much by any doctor that I saw, based on my PCOS, the amount of cysts that I had, my irregular periods. And like I said at the start of the episode, I had my period in July and then we fell pregnant in September. So what's that, 3 months of no period and still falls pregnant. So I think just like anything can happen, but I still did put in a lot of work on my body, whether it was like celery juice, eating whole foods, training, doing all the things. But I think, I don't want to say it's a mindset thing because it's not, like being fertile or infertile. But as I said, I always knew I was going to be a mum and just kind of trusted that, and it's happened a lot sooner than we thought. But I did put in a lot of work to my health. So keep doing the holistic things and trust. Like we've got a couple of friends trying at the moment, and I feel like it's so, like I can't relate to trying and then I couldn't even imagine like wanting to have a kid and then not seeing 2 lines. Like it would be so hard. So I can't relate to them, but I'm also just obviously supporting them and being like, well, it'll happen when it's meant to happen, and that baby will come when they want to come.
They will.
Because they might surprise you. But I just look at like, say like Chloe Fisher, for example, they did like, I want to say 6 or so rounds of IVF and then ended up falling pregnant naturally twice. And she's now had her 2nd kid. So it's just like, I don't know, there's a lot of things that go into it with stress and things like that you can potentially look into. But I think if you're putting in the work, you just got to trust that it'll happen when it's meant to happen. How did you prepare for the actual process of giving birth? Isn't it scary? We did a hypnobirthing course, and you will hear from Shari in this series. She is literally insane. We did 4 sessions. We did the one-on-one, so she came to our house. How did you find that experience?
Yeah, it was good. It was I definitely recommend it.
Did you go into it being like, oh, like...
I didn't really know what to expect, but probably a little bit. And I think because we were very aligned on not only we're very aligned on probably worldviews as well as pregnancy, and we don't want to vaccinate and things like that. So it was like easy. And she gives both like the positives and negatives of everything, which I think is good too. And she has her views, we have our views, and then you sort of...
Yeah, she really just makes you like feel empowered in what you are choosing. And like Jackson said, we're related to her with a lot of things, but it was no matter what birth you wanted or what direction you wanted to choose, she would support that and like help you feel empowered in that. And then just like each session was something different, but also so educational. Like I know a lot about like labor and birth and pregnancy, but after her course I was like, I knew nothing because I feel like I learned everything from her. And now just like even having her support I feel very confident in that.
Well, I actually knew nothing.
Yeah.
Zero. So...
And you retained a lot, which made me feel even more confident going into labor as well, because now you are equipped with like the tools, techniques on how to help me through labor, but even like what to say throughout the process.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest part of it, because I think it's probably going to be a bit of a downfall when I do become a dad, but like I'll do pretty much anything to make sure that we get what we want in terms of like no vaccines and those bits and pieces. Very strong in that area. Even the same with Ziggy and things like that. So I think knowing that certain questions to ask to make sure that we do, and probably say it in a nicer way, because I reckon if I don't get political here if you want, but I don't trust everything that everyone says and what's out there. So done a lot of our own research, and Mum's big into it too, and she helps us with all that sort of stuff. So
and I think, like, you know, I've had so many not great experiences within the medical system. So that was terrifying to me, going into, you know, when you're having to go to the hospital and get your checkups and do your scans and then talk to doctors and things like that. Like, even with him measuring bigger, they were pushing for me to do a 32 and a 36-week scan to check his size, which then just means they have to look for something and how big he is, what the alternatives are. Whereas my midwife was so good in the sense of being like, if you don't want to do those scans, you don't have to, because those scans were, I can't remember the percentage, but the bigger the baby gets, the harder it is for them to measure accurately. So the scans like aren't fully accurate on their sizing. So I was like, we just chose not to do those scans. And I just come back to like, whoa, he's the right size for my body, and we'll figure it out when we get there. And I made a TikTok about it, and so many people commented being like, he measured in the 99th percentile and came out like 6 pound or whatever it was. I don't think he'll be 6 pound, but it would be nice. And I think it was just like really important to stick to like our beliefs, but yes, do it in a nice, respectful way, because at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to their own rights within their body and their baby.
And side tangent, but
sorry,
Shari's course was good, and I highly recommend it. And yeah, I learned a lot because I knew nothing, and I've never really looked into it or researched, and wasn't prepared because we weren't planning on having one anytime soon. So yeah, highly recommend.
And then the last one was just, how do you feel about having a big baby? My boy is 90 on the 94th percentile. I mean, it's like we kind of expected it, because I was a big baby, Jackson was a big baby, my siblings were.
And we also don't know if we're having a big baby.
Yeah, exactly.
You never
So
know until he comes out. And
it was like, based off his scans, his head, it was his belly was measuring the biggest, and his head was like just over the average. But as his whole measurement, he was measuring average of every other baby. So it was more just his belly. So we haven't had a scan since 22 weeks, and I'm now 36. So yeah, he could come out a little peanut. He could come out a little sesame.
He could come out a little sesame.
So yeah, those things are hard to know, and I think I'm well aware that he could be a big baby based on genetics. But it's like, you're always coming back to like, your baby is the right size for your body, and your body knows how to birth, your baby knows how to birth, and whatever your birth is, it will be.
Yeah, I'm just like, the things you can't control, like what's the point in getting nervous or anxious or whatever about them, because it's literally, you cannot do
We can't change his
anything.
size, so I got to push him out regardless.
Yeah, so when it happens, you deal with it and then go from there and sort out the next plan.
Yep. Well, thanks so much.
Welcome.
We'll be back on with Jackson once Sesame's here. He can join us on the pod. We'll be holding him, and we can debunk the birth story and newborn life.
Yep.
And business and all the things in between.
We'll probably be falling asleep as we're...
as we're recording. Oh, crazy. Well, this is our last episode as, well, we're fur parents, but not parents. We're going to have a child soon.
Crazy.
Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode number 1 of the pregnancy series. I've got some really cool guests coming up, as well as some insane stories as well, and educational pieces. So enjoy, share it with a friend who is pregnant, and hopefully you can all get something from this, or you just enjoyed listening to us talk about our pregnancy journey. But love you guys so much, and we'll be back in your ears on Monday. Bye.